Alright, welcome to another episode of Torque. I was hoping we'd be going out to the barn today to work on the Chevelle, have some fun, you know, getting some stuff ready. But of course, you know, other vehicles that we have, if it runs, it's going to break eventually. So let me show you what we have for a project today. Alright, as you can see, we veered off towards the Ford truck. This is a 2000 F150. It was my father-in-law's truck. He passed away several years ago, but my kids absolutely love this truck and they drive it everywhere. So the other day as we were walking, my wife thought, we were talking about this, and she said that this would be a decent truck for them to take to college. I said absolutely not, because it always seems to have an issue. Kind of disagreed a little bit. But anyway, later in the evening, my son takes it to work, calls me up on the way to work and says, hey, you won't believe me, but the gas tank fell out. It's a Ford. I could believe it. So of course both straps rusted out. There is a service bulletin on this. I didn't realize there was a service bulletin on this. And of course it damaged the tank enough that we have to replace the tank. So that's the project for today. No fun projects. So give me a few minutes, we'll pull it inside and we'll start work on it. Alright, we got the truck underneath the lift. The first thing we need to do is disconnect the battery since we're going to be working on the fuel pump. Okay, we've got the bed liner out. There's 8 mount bolts to the bed itself. I'll try and get you a little closer. You can see there's 4 there and there's 4 up front. So we'll go ahead and start removing those. All right, the bolts came out pretty easy, but I've had this bed off before and I put some anti-seize on the threads. So they'll be a little bit tougher. I had problems the first time I took this bed off. All right, looking underneath the bed, this is in the very back by the bumper. Let me show you, that's the back of the bumper. On the driver's side above, you've got one big plug there. You do have to pull off your running lights that goes to the license plate. You have to twist those and pull those out. And then we should be able to pull the bed right off. All right, we got the electrical plug disconnected down below. Don't forget your gas filler neck. It has 3 bolts. You need to disconnect that and the neck will stay underneath with the tank. My wife just reminded me of that and of course laughed because I forgot. All right, we've got the bed off. You can see everything is exposed. A lot easier to get to everything. You have a couple of vents, I believe, front and back. You have your fueling hose, your vent for fueling. This is probably your fuel level. And here's your pump. So a lot easier to get to. I also can get to the bolts for the straps. Since they broke and these bolts are pretty rusty, they may snap off on me, so it'd be a lot easier to get to the bolts and replace the bolts. And that's front. There's the front up there, and then this strap is the back one. Okay, now I'm going to loosen the straps and try and lower the tank to the ground. So we got the old tank slid out. I've got the new tank slid in. I drank probably about a quart of gas trying to siphon the gas out since it was over half full. So now we'll just put the new straps on and just go in reverse order, connecting everything up. All right, I've got the straps tightened down. I've got the wire harness connected. It comes with a new rubber gasket. I've got that installed on the fuel pump and the level, so don't need that anymore. And so I'm going to go ahead and drop this in. Of course, one of my vent hoses, they relocated it, so I've got to go get a new vent hose, a little bit longer. These are pretty dry rotted anyway, both of these. So I'll have to go pick that up tomorrow. So I'm going to drop this pump in, and we'll tighten it down. All right, I made the trip to the auto parts store. I took the old piece of hose with me just to give them an idea of the size. Of course, they don't have anything with thin wall that's like a vent hose, so they had to give me a fuel injection hose. So they gave me what they thought was the correct size, and it looked pretty close, which was a 3/8 inside diameter hose. Of course, it does not fit. So my best advice is, when you take out the hose, measure the barb with some vernier calipers to give you the correct size. Of course, that was 520 thousandths, so I needed a 1/2 inch hose, which I just got. So we'll go ahead and install this and pretty much button everything up, and hopefully we'll be done here in another hour or two. Okay, all right, we've got our vent hoses hooked up. 1, 2, and 3. So we're ready to fire up, but first we're going to need the battery connected. Okay, we got the battery connected. It's tightened down. Let's go inside and we'll turn on the key a couple of times, turn it on, turn it off, kind of prime the pump, and we'll see if this thing will fire it up. All right, works like a charm. We'll go back here. I know we'll probably not have any leaks. We'll have to fill the tank up the rest of the way. There's only 5 gallons in it, and but we'll go ahead and put the bed on, and we'll have a completed job. All right, we used the cherry picker and we got the bed back on. We got the 8 bolts back inside the bed, so we're all good. And now we'll just put the bed liner in. That should only take a few minutes. All right, we got the bed liner in. Nick's inside, and out it goes. All right, that about wraps up this video. That was a pretty quick video on the replacement of the fuel pump. If you guys got any questions, please leave them in the comments. The fuel pumps for those and the fuel tank, they're very similar from 1997 to 2003. So next week we'll be back on the Chevelle. I still have more parts to paint, some other little things to do, and hopefully I can put something in there about the engine, maybe even give you a video of the place that it's at. So if you like this video, please like or subscribe, or just share it with your friends. We'll see you next week.